Hi guys, Gary Well from Northmarken UK. What I want to do today is I want to do a little video just to explain a concept that may be unfamiliar to a lot of people. Bushcraft these days has seemed to become a field where you've got to have a Dutch oven, you've got to have a tent, you've got to have the biggest sleeping bag, the biggest knife, the newest whatever. All of it you need to carry inside a 4x4. But our ancestors used to travel light. They used to travel with just a blum roll or a blanket roll and a haversack, and that's what we're going to look at today. The idea is to bring the traditional way of travelling into the 21st century. So instead of carrying a blanket and say a canvas sheet, we'll carry a poncho and a poncho liner. Okay guys, so you've seen pictures of me wearing the haversack and the blanket roll. It's a very easy system to set up. All I've done is I've taken a sling, which is the strap off the 2-quart canteen, a couple of small carabiners and a couple of utility straps, and that allows us to pack our gear together. The actual bedroll then that I'm going to use today is an Austrian Army poncho, a German Army poncho liner. I've got a fleece jacket and I've got some gloves, a hat and a scarf. Generally speaking, this kit, if the temperature drops, it gets a bit chilly at night, by putting on my various items I can keep myself warm. The idea of travelling light isn't that we're going out to live in the woods indefinitely. It's for a one-night stop out, or maybe if we just want to move around, keep ourselves nice and light, we can chop and change the general setup, but by having this sort of setup it at least allows us to keep warm. In my haversack I also carry a variety of items. Most of the items I've got here are generally items that are useful. If I run from left to right, obviously we've got the haversack itself. In front of that I've got a long life candle, a slow burning candle. This is part of my emergency gear. If I'm caught out at night and I have to, I can sit inside my poncho, burn the candle, same as you see me use on the video with the orange survival bag. So it brings the temperature up inside the poncho, keeps me warm. As I say in that video, you're not going to sit there all night thinking how lucky you are, but at least it's going to keep you warm, it's going to keep you alive. Next to that I've got a couple of bundles of paracord. Cordage is the hardest thing in nature to make. It takes the most labour intensive. So by carrying paracord in your pockets, or any cordage really in your pockets, you've at least given yourself an advantage. In the little plastic bag there's a couple of first aid items, a can opener, a lighter in case I need to buy a spare lighter, and some salt and pepper sachets. Salt and pepper sachets are really there so that if we're foraging for food, wild food, natural food tends to be rather bland. So by adding spices or adding salt, at least we can pep it up and make it a bit more enjoyable. Next to this I've got my sword peasant, which is my pocket knife. For this sort of thing where I'm travelling light, as I say, it's the only blade I need to carry, or the only cutting tool I need to carry. Next to that, Laplander saw. Everyone knows a Laplander saw. It's a good trusty little saw, and that covers all the jobs that I can't do with the penknife. Behind it there's a small pot which contains chili flakes. This is really just add again a bit of spice, a bit of oomph to my cooking. If I'm eating wild foods or eating bland food, then by adding some chili flakes it gives it a bit more flavour, makes it a bit more enjoyable. I carry a set of mestins. These are Dutch Army stainless steel mestins, and in there I carry at least 24 hours worth of food. Enough food for the weekend or the overnight hike what I'm doing. The reason I like the Dutch mestins being stainless steel is that if I'm cooking them and I burn food or I need to clean them, I can scour them out with sand or dirt. Obviously aluminium mestins you can do the same, but non-stick mestins you can't clean them in such a manner, because if you do you're going to take off the non-stick coating. Next to that then I've got a US Army canteen cup and a filter bottle, 1-quart canteen. The filter bottle itself is a Webtex filter bottle. These I've been using for quite a long time. They do have a weakness in as much as if you drop them, the filter itself can become detached from the cap. But apart from that, it's a bottle I find quite useful, and obviously it fits inside the 1-quart canteen cup. I'm carrying a alcohol gel stove, Swiss Army alcohol gel stove. One stove that size will normally last me a weekend with 3 burns a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner. So something along those lines is quite good. The alcohol in there can also be used to light fires. When I did the solo hike in Sweden, Last month I used the gel from the stove as my fire starter, my tinder. So again, it's another thing that we can use for various purposes. I also like to carry a set of work gloves. Primarily in this environment or in this setup, if I'm sleeping on the ground, I need to make myself a bed. In this case, you can see here that I've used bracken ponds. A pair of work gloves are a handy thing to carry. It saves your hands getting shredded when you're putting up bracken or cutting bracken. They're also a nice thing to have if you're working around fires, because you can lift pots and pans and stuff like that off the fire without the risk of scalding your fingers. So I probably recommend a pair of work gloves. So there you go, guys. This is the bedroll setup. As you can see, I've attached the poncho liner to the poncho, pressed it down the side and climbed inside it basically. It's a really good setup. It's very warm. I'm actually feeling quite warm now, to be honest with you, and it's not even it's not dark yet, so I'm not going to be going to bed as such now, but I just got in to demonstrate it. What I've done also is I've used my jacket and the haversack as my pillow, so that I'm quite comfortable. The poncho liner itself and the poncho is a very good length, because you can actually, if I just climb inside, so you can see that you can cover yourself up entirely. So if you're out on a spring morning when it's quite dewy, as an example, when the ground's damp, by covering yourself completely in the poncho, it keeps the wet off yourself. Brilliant way to sleep out. It's an eye-opening experience sleeping out like this, because you are really becoming part of one with nature. You're not isolating yourself in any way. As Waru said, everyone should experience sleeping out without a roof between themselves and the celestial bodies once in a while. And this way of sleeping out, this way of camping out, travelling light, is definitely a way to experience that.